Welcome back everybody to another strategy and review video for TightPoker.com. This is Sean, and this time we have hand history submitted by one of our YouTube subscribers. He goes by cgram23 on PokerStars, and he plays 10 no-limit games. And from what I've seen, he's a very solid player, and he's well on his way to making a lot of money playing poker, whether it be recreationally, or if he goes further, maybe a part-time job, or who knows what. So the first thing I'm going to do is just look at basic general stats. It broke it out 6 max and full ring, and I'll assume he just plays full ring because it does this for me too. If you see this in Hold'em Manager or Poker Tracker 3, whichever one you use, when you're at a full ring game and it gets down to 6 or less players, it considers it a 6 max game, which is technically correct. So you'll see that we have 5,700 hands. He won $58, which is a 5.13 big bets per 100, and a big bet is 2 times the big blind. This represents a huge win rate, even at these small micro stakes games, whether it be 2, 5, or 10 no limit. If you're winning at 5, you're doing something right, you're doing well, and you just want to keep that up. VPIP PFR 12.2, 8.7 overall. Let's just call it a 12.9. That's spot on if you want to be a really tight, aggressive player. There's a really good player called Jay Rockhalf on PokerStars, and he's like the top 100 no limit full ring guy, and he's done well at 200 no limit too, and he plays a very similar style based on the hands that I have off of him. I think he's a 12.9 or 12.10. I play a little looser than this myself, but I think for these stakes, if you just want to get in the habit of being a really good, tight, aggressive player, playing 12.9, 12.10 is just fine. Aggression factor 5. It's pretty high, but that makes sense because if you're going to be really tight pre-flop, you're going to have good cards when you go to the flop, so you're going to be plenty aggressive. Your turn aggressive is just that's off the charts, so it's pretty interesting to see what might have happened there. And then your river aggression is very normal. Your 3-bet's very low. Normally that should be 3 to 5%. So it could be that you're just card dead, for 5,000 hands. That totally happens. Let's see. Versus 3-bet, fold 50%. That's a little low. But it could be, you can interpret that different ways. So just be careful because it could be you're just calling 3-bets too light, or it could be that people are playing stupid and you recognize that, and you go ahead and you don't fold to 3-bets because they're 3-betting 22% of the time. 4-bet range is about right. Looks like you're just 4-betting your aces. Your set percentage, not something you can control. The average is 11.5. You had 14.7. So that's a nice little hot streak there. Flop C-bet percentage is really kind of high, 80%. But again, maybe that works at these stakes. You'll think about 65-70% is about, maybe on the nitty side, but about right. Flop C-bet success, 53%. That's about right. Ideally, it's 55, but again, that's not really something you can control too much. Flop fold versus C-bet, that's about fine. Went to showdown, 23% is good. 1-1-8 showdown, 51.4. That's a little low actually, but it looks like you just got coolered a couple times playing the 6 max game, so I would expect that to go up. Overall steal percentage is fine, 25 to 30. That's about the right area. So overall, I really like these stats. And so let's take a look at the position stats. Okay, so once again, I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. Early position, super tight, and then as you improve in your position, you really loosen up, and you play, fantastically on the button. It looks like. Really happy with these stats. Just really encouraged. It's great to see people who watch the videos kind of play a great game. I really hope to help people. So that's why the site was started at TightPoker.com. So I'm really seeing some great things here. The small blind, that's actually really good if you're breaking even on the small blind, and big blind's about expected to. Maybe some things happened here we can check out. It's weird that your 3-bet is double that than the button. This should be higher, logically speaking, than the cutoff. So maybe you just got more hands with the cutoff for 3-bet, or maybe you're just not liking the 3-bet as much from the button for some reason, and you should be. Let's take a look at some of these big blind hands real quick. Let me bring them up. So sorry to jar the positioning around on you, but I wanted to bring up some of these big blind hands, and these are some of the good ones. But since we only have 20 minutes for the video, let's take a look at some of the trouble hands. All right, so I just grabbed these hands. Looks like you lost 17 big blinds or more. So I'm just going to go ahead and replay selected hands. So here's our first hand. I think they're in the order of biggest losses, and we already know that kind of going in. But I turned off. Well, I guess we'll just see what happens here. In the big blind, one limper, and you just go ahead and check. That's fine. You flop middle pair. Go ahead and lead out, which I actually like. Pretty much draws and queens are calling you. So he calls 4. This might be a bet fold situation. You go ahead and check. You bet 60. This is a reluctant call for me. And you raise. So, this is definitely a mistake. Sure, he's limping, but, he's limping with 5s, 4s, weird hands like king, queen, queen, deuce. Who knows? So I think that was a check call or just a bet fold. So I think, raising there was... I don't know. I didn't get it. Maybe you're just trying something new. It just didn't work out, which happens all the time to me. Flush fills and, maybe some weird straights fill. And you go ahead and lead out for $3. I don't think he's ever going away. I think he's just, he raised over the top. And so this is a clear fold. And you just call. So maybe he had some other read. And he was on a draw here, which I got right. Yay. And then he got a double draw with the, the flush and the straight. So he wasn't going anywhere. He just won a big pot, so I guess that happens. Jacks. You go ahead and make a raise. Might be a little low, but it's fine. Then whoa, check that out. Okay, so he min raises, and then he 3-bets, right? No, I guess you're technically 3-betting. So it's a min 4-bet. Yeah, I think calling behind here and being really, really careful about what this guy might have. Unfortunately, flop an overpair, and I just got such a bad feeling he's got some giant monster of a hand like aces or kings. Because, at the microstakes level, you always see these guys do the same thing. They'll limp raise from under the gun with aces or kings, or they'll min raise, min 4-bet with their aces and kings. It's just, it's always that way. And this is a real unfortunate situation because he does start out with a medium-sized stack. He's only got 50 or 60 big blinds to start, and he might just say, "Well, I've got an overpair, backdoor flush draw. I might as well just get it in." And this guy's fishy enough to get it in with ace king, but this guy's never doing this with ace king. And you just hope he doesn't have aces, kings, or queens. So and you're hoping at this point he doesn't have tens either. So, what is he doing this with when he raises you here? It's not 9s, it's not 8s. You're just beat. And I think you just really overestimated where you were by flatting, because I think you were worried. I think you figured you were really ahead here, and you're called in order to make him realize he has to go all in on the turn. But he was really already committed at that point once he made that min raise again. So maybe you had a specialized read that I don't know about, and it's totally cool. It's totally possible. But at this point, he's just turning over aces or kings, maybe. Yeah, so unfortunately, that's just a lesson you're going to have to learn playing these microstakes. That it's just tried and true. I don't mind the pre-flop call here just for set mining. But, even though it's kind of a crappy situation, for 40 cents at this point, it's a call. All right, queens on the big blind. How did this go wrong? Okay, so we've got a min raise 56-20 over 40 hands, and then a 32-11 who 3-bets 20% of the time, which includes this hand. Makes a raise here, and so against these guys with queens, I'm actually getting it in, and if I'm beat, I'm beat. But you go ahead and flat, which I'm not sure what that accomplishes, because this guy's committed. This guy's going to want his stack, so he's going to get him in, which means you need to get him in. There's this whole 3-way dynamic going on here. And so this is just the mandatory shove right here. So instead of making a